Hello to everyone. Thank God it's Friday and it's 9 o'clock Central European time, and that means we start our Access at 9 webinar. My name is Christian Pfaffrey. I'm working for Access Communications and Nordic Sales, and I'm your host today. This morning we will introduce the Optex sensors, and Mr. Mark Ghostgrave, Export Sales Manager, Nordics and Southern Europe, will do the presentation. I hope you have as much information as possible, Mark, and I hope the audience will be delighted to hear your presentation. Are you ready, Mark?
Yes, I am.
Good. Let's start.
Okay, well, welcome, and thank you very much for joining this webinar. My name is Mark Cosgrave, and I'm the Export Sales Manager for a company called Optex. Today's webinar is to focus on some of the products which Optex have developed over the years to work in conjunction with your CCTV system. So what I'd like to do is start by telling you who Optex are. So if you're not familiar with them, Optex is a Japanese company. It was established around about 35 years ago, and we've been a world leader in physical sensing solutions throughout that time. Now, as a manufacturer, we all have our firsts, and Optex was the first manufacturer to develop the world's first automatic door sensing technology, and this has now been developed and expanded upon over the years. Optex has several divisions, and we focus in 4 main key areas: security and safety, door entry, factory automation, and water quality testing. Now, as a company, as a global company, we have percentages of the market, and what we're seeing here is a list of some of the percentages of the markets that Optex have at the moment. So in the security industry, for internal intrusion, we're roughly 12%, and external 40%. We focus on these main 4 areas to develop and expand upon our technology. So why would you connect your sensors into an IP video system? You would do this to increase, we find it being used increasingly in IP video detection. Adding independent sensing technology can help to improve the situational awareness and the overall performance of the system. So what else does it provide you with? Presence and motion detection, the sensing solutions that we provide, not just determine if somebody's there, but also if they've moved in and out of the detection area. You can use this technology then to generate events, allowing you to remotely or locally give visual verification of somebody walking into the premises. You can track and also enable you to have situational awareness. The sensors are quite extensive in what it is that they can detect and what it is that they can connect to. Thrown object, small object detection, but they can also be used not just in safety applications, security, but also safety applications. And there's an extensive range of sensors which meet the needs of your application. So why choose us? Why choose an Optex sensor in conjunction with your IP camera solution? So our sensors are solely dedicated to the function of sensing. What that means is that there is no additional inputs to them to enable them to work. They're not dependent on anything else apart from themselves. And that means that they're not a drain on the resources of the camera's processor or anything like that. So we're saying Optex have a large range of sensing solutions to suit the needs of your specific requirements. And it's adaptable to the environment. Any solution which is installed externally needs, or internally, needs to be able to adapt to lighting and to changing weather conditions. Now, our sensors automatically do this, temperature sensing, light sensors. So this enables us to maintain a constant sensing solution and high quality throughout its life. The sensing solutions that we use are very familiar within the market and have been used extensively. Simple to set up and provide that the same configuration each time and every time as you install the sensors. And as I was saying before, it's not dependent or reliant or draw upon the other camera's resources like the processor. So what do you do with this alert? This is another key thing. Why do I connect it? What do these sensors do? How does it benefit me? How does it improve my camera system? This is a big claim that we make, so this is some of the justification for it. So what can it be used for? It can be used to trigger not just the camera, but other things as well, secondary devices such as lighting and signal, which is becoming more and more popular within the IP world, is to have things talking to one another. So you can have actions and events. Also, by using the sensors, it allows you to have tracking ability. So you can not just determine that there's been an intrusion in a particular part of your area, but also across and be able to monitor that intrusion and where they go. One of the key things, if you have a larger system of 100 cameras and there's a lot of activity, but on some there isn't, you need to be able to identify where to look. If that you have somebody monitoring the system there on the premises or even remotely, they need to know exactly where they need to be looking. Also, using our sensors, it's not dedicated, it's not specified just to the field of view. It can be installed in multiple different areas, in maybe areas that aren't technically suitable for a camera to be installed, but the camera can still view that area. Our sensors allow you to be able to detect and in that area and then move the camera around to look in that particular area. Now, the other benefits to using sensing technology is obviously bandwidth. As cameras increase in their megapixel resolution, the bandwidth is important, particularly if you are monitoring this system remotely. So what our sensors can do is trigger your camera system and specifically to that camera. That'll allow you to reduce storage. You can increase the record time, the record quality. By having it permanently on a high quality of record when nothing happens within the scene, you're using a lot of data and a lot of storage, where our sensors are able to activate and drive the camera to increase the record time. So you have a cause and effect, which is extremely useful, particularly if you're going back and looking into the library and you want to see a specific event. When did it happen? Well, how can I determine when it happened and where it happened? Our sensors can register an event directly onto the camera, and then you're able to review the library quite easily through the Axis library system, and then be able to have a look and see exactly where the sensors, where the detections happen, and be able to quickly determine where it is that something's happened. So, what is the technology? What technology are you using then to do these things? Optex is using fiber optics. Fiber optics, signal variation. So we have fiber optic cable sensing solutions that can be used for either the infrastructure of your building. So now fiber optics is used extensively throughout communication in the IP world. That needs to be secured. We can do that using our fiber solutions and connect that then through to the CCTV system. We can also use this fiber optic system also for remote applications, connecting it to a fence, let's say. So for long-range perimeter, we all know the benefits of using fibre optic over long ranges. You have minimal signal loss. So this is a key way of us being able to provide a sensing solution and detect an intrusion by using fibre optic sensors and then connecting that into your camera solution. We also use other technologies as well. As I was saying before, we have many different sensing solutions. Now, the reason that we have them is because so they meet your needs. You may have a need for extremely long range, then we use fibre optics. But if you're going to be shooting at an intermediate range of, say, let's say 200 meters, active infrared is an ideal solution to be able to do that. 3D thermal sensing as well. Thermal sensing has been a staple of the security industry for many years. What the sensor does is determine the background temperature and then can see the temperature change as somebody moves into the detection area. That then can move your camera to look into that particular area. Also, the other technology we use is laser point detection. This uses time-of-flight technology to give you a precise location of where an intrusion has occurred or where there's been an object move. Laser detection is now becoming more and more popular because of this point detection, where you can say specifically exactly where there is. So it's a key technology that we're using extensively and building upon. So how do I use all these technologies? How do I put them together for a solution which meets my needs? So this is a quick overview of an application of a data center. This data center has a requirement for rooftop detection, for perimeter along the back there. They need to know if anyone's climbing over, and then be able to direct the camera to look into that particular action area. There's also a requirement here for approach and boundary, as you see at the bottom, using the 3D thermal contained within the approach area. You like to know if there's something there. Then internally you can use these 3D sensors as well to be able to determine the location and the movement of people throughout the building. So indoor applications is something for our sensors that we've been using extensively. How is it used? What's it used for? So security, asset protection. So as you see in the top picture there, museums. Museums have assets on the wall and they don't want people touching them and they don't want people getting too close. But they need to not restrict the view of somebody that wants to look at it. So rather than a physical barrier, we create this sensing solution. Monitoring the movement of people throughout the building can allow you to connect to your camera solution, moving cameras around, but also you can use the secondary features to provide an overall solution for lighting and other things like that. Safety is also a key area for Optex and for our our sensing solutions. We've found great success over the last 5 to 10 years where safety falling onto the tracks is just one of the many different applications that we use our technologies to be able to report to the camera system that an event has happened and it needs to be looked at. Outdoor applications. So particularly in this type of application, it's important that the sensors are able to adapt and where they can be used. So on a flat roof where maybe the camera's positioning may not always be ideal, but where can they be used? They can be used flat roofs, skylights, things like that. Again, we're talking externally, perimeter and boundary protection, that intermediate area between the fence line, but also the fence, the building itself. And safety with obstacle detection. We have here a level crossing, which is a dangerous area that needs to be monitored. And we've had success over the last 5 years with this specific application, working with rail companies throughout Europe. Now, the connection in the past has traditionally been IP interface between the sensor with an intermediary. Traditionally, it was a VMS. Now, this required additional equipment and additional cost. So both Axis and Optex came together to try and see how we could make a more fluid system between the sensor and the camera without using an intermediary. It was decided that what we would needed was to use the Axis ACAP application, and Optex developed this ACAP protocol to connect directly into the camera itself via the network, rather than having to go through that VMS intermediary. So now the Optex camera, the Optex IP detector connects directly to the network, as does the camera, and then you link the two together. Now, this is a free plugin. This isn't something that Optex charge for. There is no license fee. And using IP alarm reporting on with a sensor allows you to report not just an alarm, but other events as well. So you can report alarms in multiple areas and set up presets on the camera to view larger areas to incorporate both the detection areas. So we have here, we're using 3 sensors to connect to one camera and be able to provide precise location detection. This is a short video that we have here, which was a collaboration between Optex and Axis that we did to promote exactly what it is we're here to talk about today. So I'm just going to run it. Unfortunately, the video, the actual voiceover doesn't transmit to you. So let me talk a little bit through. So as we were saying, IP security cameras are now being used quite a lot in security applications. Now, there's always a concern about false alarms, and traditionally, as we were saying, there's an interface between the camera and the sensor. Using the Axis camera application, we can connect directly to an Axis network camera. So this is a demonstration of using the direct link between the red scan unit, the laser point detection, and the Axis camera. So Optex, as we were saying, has a variety of different sensors using laser detection, passive infrared thermal detection, and photoelectric beam detection. So intelligent red scan laser point detection allows you to be able to detect the exact location of an intrusion and point the camera to that specific area. Thermal cameras allow you to do the approach and can give you, allows you, as you can see there, that the camera is connected to the building rather than the fence line. Our beams can be used as a tripwire to enable the camera's tracking technology. All Axis cameras, or the Axis IP interface, can connect directly to the camera itself, as we've said before. This direct app integration allows for fast, immediate response. So, with this feature, it uses the alarm outputs. Now, this is the way that we would set up the connection. Now, you can use not just this. I'll just stop it here because this is a key point. It's not just moving the camera into a certain position. It's also, you can use the action rules, email notification, and other things that the Axis ACAP allows you to do. This rules allow you to not just move the camera, but also do several other things as well. So this is the larger systems where you need motion detection. The sensor can be used as the initial trigger, the first trigger that connects to the camera itself, and then a secondary solution can take over to track the movement of an object or a person. So how we have here, the sensor is used to track the person and then move them into a particular area. So this is using the gatekeeper for a double knock solution. As we were saying, you can connect up to 3 different sensors to one Axis IP camera, allowing for very great definition. Talking about the bandwidth as well now, in this particular application, you don't have to have it on an increased record time. We offer a multi-layered system, and you'll see in the handout, which is on the attachment, that how the sensors can be used in their different applications. Now, Optex solutions reduce false alarms because they're able to adapt to the changing weather conditions. They're always sampling the external environment, and that's key. You need to be able to adapt. Now, each one of the sensors has technologies built into it to adapt to the changing environment to ensure consistent detection. That's key to a reliable system. Again, using the detection solutions, laser, infrared, photoelectric beam, you can connect them directly to the IP cameras for remote or video verification. So to learn more about it, please have a look at our website. Oh, yes. Sensing innovation, key tagline. That was quite difficult for me because I had the narration of the video going in my head while I was watching the video, but unfortunately you can't hear it. So for the integration, we have a dedicated website for Axis. There's the link there, which you'll be able to view at the end of the presentation. As we were saying, the plugin is free. It's a free plugin. There is no license fee, and it's available from download like that from the dedicated website. There's instructions on how to connect the system and how to do it. Videos on which you saw there is available on YouTube. And then the marketing material, in addition to the handout which is on this webinar, there's also additional information that Optex and Axis have collaborated to show applications, so working systems, because I think that's the key as well. You need to see it actually working in the real world. And through this link here, you can have a look at some of the marketing material. Where to meet us next? Where are we going to be? Optex is going to be at the ADP partner event in the UK and also in Sweden on the 24th and the 26th. My hope is that we can meet on, I'll actually be attending the meeting in Sweden, and I hope that it'll give the opportunity for us to meet. And I'd like now to move over to any questions should you have on the presentation or any of the equipment. If anybody has any questions at all?
Well, as people are writing most probably some questions now, I will ask one myself. Where can you buy your stuff? Do you distribute it through distributors, or are you selling it directly, or how are you doing it? Okay. I hope you can hear me because I get now the information that the audio is not working. All right.